Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Conqueror Tier 9 British heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Erlenberg and it's under the command of Awppenheimer. Battle started. Well, it's got the 120mm gun, 400 alpha and decent pen. In fact, this is the vehicle that can carry the Hesh. Yep, it carries high explosive score shed, 515 alpha if it can penetrate on that one. Well, the Conqueror was designed to provide support to the Centurions against the IS-3, and basically they were a long-range standoff heavy that would pick off the IS-3s at long range if necessary. Of course, it never actually had to use them in that purpose, but that's what it was designed for. And you can see it's got those bursting plates around the turret. Ooh, lovely first shot into the SDB 461, a high roll. The bursting plates are there to reduce the effect of high explosive anti-tank heat and high explosive rounds. And he's not crossing the river to start with because there's a whole bunch of enemy tanks sitting down the other end of that street. A Type 4 heavy, a T-30, an E-75. I think he just wants to wait a little over this side of the river and see what they do next. Basically, he's holding them there, he's pinning them there, because if they do come down the road, they're likely to get, well, a lot of holes in the side of them. Sometimes pinning the enemy in position can actually be quite useful, especially if you've got Arty on your team, because then Arty can soften them up from long range. And it just so happens we do have an Arty on our team. It's a 212A Soviet Tier 9. And he's crossed the river and he's in a position where he can actually lay shots down on those heavies. But we've lost sight of them temporarily. It's more than likely you have actually seen a battle with Awppenheimer. Oh, and the first victim turns up and it's a 705A. He got hold, he's on fire and he's gone. But the kill doesn't go to us, it goes to the IS-4. And somebody, and that's the enemy Arty actually, and we now know where he is. He's over the other side of the battlefield. It's on the west side, probably near the water. Kind of indicates, and Awppenheimer's not passing this information on to the 212A. He should really, by all rights, he should say there's an M53, M55 in that location, because then that 212A can get to work on him. But Awppenheimer's decided he's not going to wait any longer. They got one kill. He can now start dealing some punishment on the enemy over here. And when he puts him around into the Leopard, and in this position he's actually protected from the M53, M55 because he can't fire from that corner into this corner. Okay, well, the IS-4, the one who got the fire, and of course you can see Awppenheimer's got 2 marks. Oh, lovely shot right through the buildings on the Type 4, and he returned the shot, but all we got was 100 hit points of splash from the HE. Lower plate put around into the IS-7. Obviously he didn't expect that. Going for it again. Goes for the flat plate instead, and it's an average roll, 400. So it does look as if from now he can actually do some damage. He's actually being told to fall back by his teammates, but really, honestly, he shouldn't, because what he's doing here is he's using the natural cover to plant rounds into the enemy and they can't return fire, which means he's going to whittle them away bit by bit. Lower plate takes out the E-75, a high roll, 407. Now his teammates can protect his rear and he can just punch away at these guys. Puts around into the T-30 and that really fetching new skin that just came out thanks to one of the players who commissioned it. And the Type 4's gone down now. So there's just the IS-7 and the T-30 around the corner. And the IS-7 is taking more damage. But the Arty managed to flip around into us. Can we get another round in? Oh! Didn't get through the Yag Tiger. Went for his upper plate. It didn't work. Remember, that's got a 128mm gun, that one. Can we do it again? Can try. And this time round it does work with a APCR round. IS-4, I think, wants us to move on. Oh, took a round from the Jagdtiger that time. Yeah, you can see it went through the turret. It was an APCR round. 589 hit points of damage. Could have been 750. And we took another round from the Arty. Unfortunately, it's only a splash hit for 55, but it is annoying because it stuns us. Where's that IS-7? There he is. We've got him. Oh no, it's the T-30. We've only got him by the side. If we fired into him right now, we won't get a pen. But if he does that, we can. What a silly thing to do. He turned his body, and the IS-4 is actually getting a bit miffed here because he can't get any damage. So he tried to side scrape off us, but Awppenheimer's now decided to go straight ahead. He can one-shot the IS-7, takes him out. T-30's gone. So it's just the Jagdtiger now to deal with at this end. Although there's a number of enemy other tanks up there. Didn't get that one through, but the Jagdtiger couldn't return the favour. 560 hit points. One through the upper plate. Wow! And it's a low roll, but the IS-4's decided to go ahead. He's getting a bit miffed that he didn't get any more damage, so he's decided to push it. We put another one into the front plate of the Jagdtiger. A high roll again, 435. The IS-4, well, we're going to keep penetrating this guy. 405, another high roll. The IS-4's taking a huge risk, but he does get the kill at last. I'm sure he's happy about that. That Type 4 is now blocking our path, but we can squeeze through. Just the enemies on the east side of the map. There's only 4 enemies left. We know where the Arty is. He's over on the west side of the map as far as we can tell. Looks like we might have a shot on the STB. No, he's the other side of the hill. Leopard, no, not yet, but if he pulls further south we might be able to get a shot into him. Okay, well, they're moving forwards, and they found the M53-55. He was on the west side of the river, and he's now going to get killed because he's just on the water's edge. 263 gets him. That means there's only 3 left, and they're all on the east side of the map. So it's last one there, it buys the beer. And we've got shots on the guys on the east side. Not really. Guys closer, the T110E4, but he hasn't got sights on them either. They are taking fire. There is a Striv 1030, and he's probably up in that corner. Yeah, there's indicating A0. More than likely he's up there. That was where he would be if he was actually just doing a defensive job. But it does sort of indicate that the enemy might be streaming south using that valley for cover. And if that's the case, then our 212A would do best to actually hightail it out of that area as quickly as he can. Head north, get past the castle. Well, we lost the IS-4. He was killed by the Leopard prototype, so that tends to indicate to us that he potentially actually came back. And we didn't see him moving back, and Awppenheimer's decided to go into a cover position. There's the STB. We've got shots. Yes, we have. Oh, he went behind the building as quickly as he could. Yeah, he's going to stay over that side, and it's going to be damn difficult. The best thing to do would be to cross the river. The trouble is, if we do cross the river, and considering where that Leopard was, we probably would get hit. We don't have to drive all the way back. You can drive over to the island. Oh, the STB's coming this way. And we put one into his turret. 175. Is he going to pull back? Yes, he did. He's a one-shot now. Here he comes. End of game for him. And we've capped out. That's the end of the game. That's probably why he gave up, because there was no point. They couldn't get to the cap in time. And he thought, well, hell to it. I'll go and get some damage. And that's the end of the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for Awppenheimer in the Conqueror. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly, a fire for effect and a bruiser medal. And he picked up an epic medal. He got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the battle. And his win rate for that game was 13,767. So not falling back as the IS-4 wanted him to actually did pay off, because he managed to get a huge amount of damage firing through that little hole at the enemy tanks the other side, and they weren't really able to return with sufficient power to actually put him out the game. And so as a consequence, he's actually ended up with the high caliber. Let's have a look at team score. Highest damage, 6,734 hit points of damage. That's a carry. The next high scorer was the gorilla on the enemy team with 3,707 for him. And after that, it was the STB with 2,998. Their strength managed to get a tank sniper, and their leopard prototype got a leather slayers out of that battle. So they did quite well. And RT49, he got an All-X medal. But when it comes down to it in the end, it's number of kills and amount of damage, and you can see here the only person who matched him on kills was the leopard prototype. He got 4 kills, so did Awppenheimer, and 3 kills to the T49 and the IS-4. When it came to base XP, it was Awppenheimer, 1,451. That's an easy ace tanker. 945 goes to the T49 and 802 to the IS-4. He fired 21 rounds, got 20 direct hits and 18 penetrations, 1 splash, damage of 6,734 hit points, of which 841 were at more than 300 meters. He received 6 shots from the enemy, 2 of them were penetrations, 3 non-penetrations, and 5 as a result of splash as well. And I think those ones, they were firing at him, but it was only splashing him through the hole, or the Arty rounds were actually splashing him from a short distance away. So the shells were landing behind him, but not on him, and that's why the M53, M55 wasn't doing the full amount of damage, because he can get 1050 alpha if he can penetrate you, and of course he just couldn't get anywhere near. He couldn't put the shell where he needed to. 1050 hit points of damage blocked, 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, and 728 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium counter, he earned 87,780 credits from that game, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he actually ended up with a loss of 49,200 credits. Yes, I know it's a lot, but he did use quite a bit of APCR during that game. It was necessary for him to punch through the frontal armor of those heavies in that road behind the brick, behind the house. He picked up 1 bomb for getting the high caliber, 2,176 XP, and there was no multiplier, so that's all the experience points he took away. But it was a good game, and it shows how destructive he can be in the Conqueror. And again, even if your teammates say pull back so they can get a shot at these enemies, if you think you've got a good enough position, don't pull back, use it. Use it. It's only the IS-4 who's getting a bit riled because he wasn't getting any damage, but that's because he was in the wrong position to do so. And it was only after Awppenheimer cleared up and cleaned away some of those enemy tanks that the IS-4 was able to get out there and do damage without actually getting hit in return. So really, he ought to be thanking Awppenheimer for carrying the team. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel if you can, and hit that notification button. We get games by Super Unicoms all the time, and we do get some rather interesting ones from people who are not Unicoms but have a really good day. So do stay tuned to our channel. Thanks for watching.